Welcome to the Human Brain Understanding Neuroscience. In this video, we will explore the fascinating world of neuroscience and learn about the human brain, the most complex organ in the body. Our brain is responsible for our thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and actions. Understanding how the brain works can help us better understand ourselves and the world around us. A shot of the human brain, followed by a series of images showing different parts of the brain and their functions. The human brain is made up of billions of neurons, which are specialized cells that transmit information throughout the brain and body. These neurons communicate with each other through electrical and chemical signals, forming complex networks that allow us to think, feel, and act. A close-up shot of a neuron, followed by an animation showing how neurons communicate with each other. Neuroscience is the study of the nervous system, including the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. It is a multidisciplinary field that combines biology, psychology, and other sciences to understand how the brain works. A shot of a neuroscience lab, followed by a series of images showing different tools and techniques used in neuroscience research. In this video, we will explore the different parts of the brain and their functions, how the brain develops and changes over time, and how neuroscience research is helping us better understand and treat neurological disorders. A shot of a brain scan, followed by a series of images showing different neurological disorders. So, let's dive into the fascinating world of neuroscience and learn about the human brain. The human brain is divided into several parts, each with its own unique structure and function. Let's take a closer look at the different parts of the brain. A shot of the brain with different parts labeled, followed by a series of images showing each part of the brain. The brainstem is the oldest and most primitive part of the brain. It controls basic functions such as breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure. A shot of the brainstem, followed by an animation showing its functions. The cerebellum is located at the back of the brain and is responsible for coordinating movement and balance. A shot of the cerebellum, followed by an animation showing its functions. The limbic system is located in the middle of the brain and is responsible for emotions, motivation, and memory. A shot of the limbic system, followed by an animation showing its functions. The cerebral cortex is the outer layer of the brain and is responsible for consciousness, perception, and higher cognitive functions such as language and decision-making. A shot of the cerebral cortex, followed by an animation showing its functions. Each part of the brain is interconnected and works together to allow us to think, feel, and act. An animation showing the interconnectedness of different parts of the brain. Understanding the structure of the brain is essential to understanding how it works and how it can be affected by neurological disorders. A shot of a brain scan, followed by a series of images showing different neurological disorders. In the next segment, we will explore how the brain develops and changes over time. The human brain is not fully developed at birth. In fact, the brain continues to develop and change throughout our lives. Let's take a closer look at how the brain develops and its ability to change, known as plasticity. A shot of a baby's brain, followed by a series of images showing brain development at different stages of life. The brain develops through a process called neurogenesis, which is the formation of new neurons. This process occurs primarily during fetal development and early childhood. An animation showing neurogenesis. As we age, the brain continues to change through a process called synaptic pruning, which is the elimination of unused or unnecessary synapses. An animation showing synaptic pruning. The brain also has the ability to reorganize itself in response to new experiences or injuries. This is known as neuroplasticity. An animation showing neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity allows the brain to adapt and change in response to new information or experiences. For example, learning a new skill or language can cause the brain to form new connections and reorganize itself. An animation showing the formation of new connections in the brain. Neuroplasticity also plays a role in recovery from brain injuries. With proper rehabilitation, the brain can reorganize itself and form new connections to compensate for damaged areas. A shot of a person undergoing rehabilitation after a brain injury, followed by an animation showing the brain's ability to compensate for damaged areas. Understanding brain development and plasticity is essential to understanding how the brain can be affected by neurological disorders and how it can be treated. A shot of a brain scan, followed by a series of images showing different neurological disorders and treatments. In the next segment, we will explore the different methods used in neuroscience research. Neuroscience research involves a variety of methods and techniques to study the brain and nervous system. Let's take a closer look at some of the methods used in neuroscience research. A shot of a neuroscience lab, followed by a series of images showing different tools and techniques used in neuroscience research. One of the most common methods used in neuroscience research is neuroimaging, which allows researchers to visualize the brain and its activity. A shot of a brain scan, followed by an animation showing how neuroimaging works. There are several types of neuroimaging techniques, including magnetic resonance imaging (MRI), positron emission tomography (PET), and functional magnetic resonance imaging (fMRI). A series of images showing different types of neuroimaging techniques. Another method used in neuroscience research is electrophysiology, which involves measuring the electrical activity of neurons. An animation showing how electrophysiology works. Electrophysiology can be used to study the activity of individual neurons or groups of neurons. A shot of a neuron, followed by an animation showing how electrophysiology can be used to study the activity of neurons. Other methods used in neuroscience research include optogenetics, which involves using light to control the activity of neurons, and behavioral testing, which involves observing and measuring behavior in response to different stimuli. An animation showing how optogenetics works, followed by a shot of a behavioral testing setup. These methods and techniques allow researchers to study the brain and nervous system in detail, providing insights into how they work and how they can be affected by neurological disorders. A shot of a brain scan, followed by a series of images showing different neurological disorders and treatments. In the final segment, we will explore some of the current research in neuroscience and its potential impact on our understanding of the brain and neurological disorders. Neuroscience research is a rapidly evolving field, with new discoveries and advancements being made every day. Let's take a look at some of the current research in neuroscience and its potential impact on our understanding of the brain and neurological disorders. A shot of a neuroscience lab, followed by a series of images showing different research studies and their findings. One area of current research is the study of the brain's connectome, which is the map of neural connections in the brain. An animation showing the brain's connectome. Understanding the connectome can provide insights into how the brain works and how it can be affected by neurological disorders. A shot of a brain scan, followed by a series of images showing different neurological disorders and their effects in the brain's connectome. Another area of current research is the study of the microbiome gut-brain axis, which is the connection between the gut microbiome and the brain. An animation showing the microbiome gut-brain axis. This research has shown that the gut microbiome can affect brain function and behavior, and may play a role in neurological disorders such as autism and depression. A shot of a person with autism, followed by an animation showing the potential role of the gut microbiome in autism. Other areas of current research include the development of new treatments for neurological disorders, such as gene therapy and stem cell therapy. A shot of a gene therapy lab, followed by an animation showing how gene therapy works. These advancements in neuroscience research have the potential to revolutionize our understanding of the brain and how it can be treated. A shot of a brain scan, followed by a series of images showing different neurological disorders and potential treatment. As neuroscience research continues to evolve, we can expect to see even more exciting discoveries and advancements in the future. An animation showing the future of neuroscience research. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the fascinating world of neuroscience and the human brain. A shot of the human brain, followed by the end credits.